Welcome back to Beautiful British English, where we bring you bite-sized English fluency lessons. Today's lesson is all about the logical flow of information, how information flows from introducing a subject right the way through to concluding your writing or your speech. Now this might be especially helpful for you IELTS students out there, so keep watching. Welcome back. So we're talking about how what we're writing or what we're saying flows, how to make it flow naturally. Now this is trickier to get right if you're writing. It's also more important to get this flow correct if you're writing, but it's also important when we're speaking. Now basically, because if you don't represent or present information in a logical flow, a logical order, it can be confusing for the people listening to you. Okay, so this is especially important if you are preparing for your IELTS exam or any other type of exam. You want to make sure that when you are giving information, particularly when you're speaking in the speaking exam, that you present your information logically. Yeah? Now the truth is there's no exact science to how to present information logically. We all probably do it differently, but I can give you some hints and some tips on how to practice presenting information in a kind of logical order. So the first thing we need to help us present information is conjunctions, also known as transitions, conjunctions and transitions. Yeah. So simple words like and or, because, such as, but, in fact, and so. These words are very, very, very important, and these are just some simple examples of these conjunctions and transitions. But conjunctions and transitions are very, very, very important elements in presenting a logical flow of information. Yeah? So let's just take a look at, and this is just my idea really, of how information should flow logically. Now this is just a very, very simple idea that I might use, but I probably won't use it all the time. I would probably modify this, but this kind of gives you a good place to start when you're thinking about how you logically make your information flow. So first of all, you have to introduce the subject, the thing. Yeah? After you've introduced the thing or the subject you want to speak about, you then have to give more information about it. You have to expand, give further details. After that, you might want to talk about the cause and effect. Yeah? What happens when you do this thing? Yeah? The next thing that comes to mind to me would be to give some specific examples. And particularly in your IELTS, afterwards, if you still have a little bit of time left, you know, particularly in part 2, which is the topic card, you know, why not actually, you know, use a contrast. Why not actually contrast the information you've given already? You can contrast or you can modify the information you've given, and then you perhaps want to conclude. Yeah. So to do all of this, what we need are the conjunctions. Okay, so let's just take a look at the conjunctions. So introductions, you know, you might say, well, to begin with, I want to talk about this. Yeah. But then when you're going to expand or add further details, you can simply use and or to add details. These are just very, very simple conjunctions. If you want more help with your conjunctions, particularly for adding and listening information, I'll put a link to another video in the notes below this video, because there is a whole video about listening and adding information. Cause and effect. You very simply, you can just use because, but why not use since, now that? Or if you're a bit more advanced, you could use an if clause, a conditional. Examples, you can say for example, for instance, or such as. To contrast something, we have but, yet, although, despite. Modifying. I love in fact. I think in fact is a great conjunction that you guys should use, and you use it to modify something. Yeah? To conclude, you can simply use the conjunction so, which is, you know, it's a transition, it's a conjunction that tells somebody you're kind of perhaps coming to the end of what you're about to say, or what you have been saying, because you are concluding. So, that was great. Yeah? So this is just an idea of how you might start to put together some kind of plan for ordering the information that you give. Now, whether you're speaking or writing, this is a good place to start. You may not do all of this every time you are speaking or writing, but this does give you quite a logical order, a logical place to begin. These conjunctions that I've listed here are great if you are speaking. You can use some of these. In fact, there's no reason why you couldn't use all of these in your writing, but some of these would be better used in your speech rather than your writing. Yeah? Especially if you're doing academic IELTS, you do need more academic conjunctions. But in your speech, all of these conjunctions are perfectly fine and perfectly valid. Now, a simple way for you guys to start thinking about ordering the information is to ask yourselves some questions. Yeah. So if we look, we have the what. Yeah, I'm sure you guys know the who, what, why, where, when, and how question words. Yeah. So ask yourself, what am I talking about? Yeah. That is your introduction. Okay. Then ask yourself, why? Why am I talking about this? And that will then allow you to perhaps give your extra details, or even talk about the cause and effect. What happens when this thing happens? Yeah. Then ask yourself, how? Yeah. How will allow you to think of some examples of the thing that you're talking about. For contrasting and modifying, ask yourself, if I didn't do this, what could I do instead? Yeah? If I didn't do this thing that I just introduced, what would my alternative be? That could be a good way to contrast or modify something. And to conclude, just ask yourself, well, what's my opinion? What do I think about this? Yeah, I'm finished with, so I think it's a great idea. Yep. Okay, so a very, very short introduction to what I call the logical flow of information. And I think it's important for you guys to start practicing making sure that the information that you're saying and information that you're writing flows logically. It has to flow logically in English just like it has to flow logically in your own languages. Only obviously in a second language it can be harder for you to get the flow correct. So just follow this for now. Use this as a template for how you could put all the information that you want to present in some kind of logical order, and just simply remember to ask yourself some questions along the way, and that should help you. Okay? That's it. That's the end of this lesson. I hope you enjoyed this little introduction to the logical flow of information. Give me a like on the video, subscribe to this channel, let me know in the chat, in the comments below this video, if there's any questions that you have, or if there's anything that you specifically want me to produce a video on, let me know and I will do my best.